Godwin Emefiele out on bail as legal battles continue. Troops arrest suspected killer of Ardo of Panyam in Plateau State. Charcoal in high demand as households decry gas prices. On the foreign scene, dozens dead and thousands trapped in Somalia's worst floods in decades. These are the headlines on Trust TV News Update. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. A Federal Capital Territory High Court in Maitama, Abuja has granted bail to the immediate past governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, who is facing charges of financial misappropriation by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Emefiele had been in the detention since his suspension from office by President Bola Tinubu on June 9. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
The embattled former Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele is finally free on bail after months of legal battles. Ruling on the bail application by counsels to Emefiele, the court ordered the release of the former CBN governor on bail in line with his fundamental right as enshrined in the Constitution. The judge, after ruling against the objection of EFCC counsel to the bail application, ordered the confiscation of Emefiele's international passport as part of the bail condition, while ordering his counsels to ensure his appearance for arraignment on the 15th of November 2023.
What happened in court was the victory of the rule of law and due process. We thank the agencies of government, the DSS, the EFCC and the Ministry of Justice and the federal government generally for complying with the order of court that was made on the 2nd and reiterated on the 8th to produce the Mr. Emefiele in court. Now he was produced in court, and if you recall, part of the order was that he was to be produced for the purpose of being admitted to bail. The court has admitted him to bail, and the terms have been perfected, and he's free to go home. We are going to ensure that that is carried out. What the court did was to ensure was to state that all of us are players in the administration of the criminal justice system, and we have a key role to play in ensuring that everything moves smoothly.
The ex-CBN governor, Emefiele, was released by the Department for State Security, DSS, only to be rearrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in his long-running battles with law enforcement since his suspension and eventual removal from office in June. Before the recent hearing, EFCC had failed to produce the former CBN governor, prompting the court to order his appearance. The immediate past CBN governor is standing trial on alleged abuse of office while at the helm of affairs at the Apex Bank. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The tactical team of Operation Safe Haven, a multi-security task force operating in Plateau and parts of Bauchi and Kaduna State on Wednesday, confirmed the arrest of a prime suspect in the murder of Fulani leader in Panyam district of Mangu local government area of Plateau State. The Ardo was first declared missing on September 24th, reportedly on his way back from a visit to the district head of the area, after which his corpse was later discovered in a village bordering Plateau and Bauchi State. Ado Musa reports.
The suspect, according to the army spokesperson, has already confessed to the crime.
He has already fully confessed to the crime and also made very useful statements that will lead to further arrest in the coming days. His successful arrest serves as a clear warning to criminals that they cannot escape justice. Regardless of how far they may try to run, security agencies possess the resilience and capacity to employ all elements of national power to ensure that criminals are held accountable for their action.
We will hold his clothes. We don't use any object or anything. We hold him, 3 of us, and we are many because I don't know most of the children, but the ones I know is one man, one elderly man, senior me, and the other ones, I don't know their names, so we hold and squeeze his clothes. Squeeze his clothes by his neck. He said that is why immediately he gave out. Then I left to the hospital and because they discharged my son. I take him back straight.
So can you describe how you forced life out of him?
Forced life. Okay, you squeeze his cloth like this on his neck, so he sees his breath. He cannot breathe again.
The arrest of the suspect may likely reassure members of the Fulani community in Panyam and across Plateau State of justice from the system, which will be critical to the peace-building process in the state. For the military operations, this success signposts their commitment to restoring peace and stability across the theater of operations. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Meanwhile, members of Nigerian Army from the National Defense College of Nigeria, under the leadership of Brigadier General A.O. William, have visited Taraba State Governor to complement the efforts of troops in fighting insecurity within the state. General William said that the visit is to strengthen the relationship with other security agencies in the state to tackle the problem. The report.
Taraba State is one of the northeastern states that is facing different security challenges, ranging from kidnappings, banditry, communal clashes, tribal conflicts, and chieftaincy tussles, among other problems. The security agencies in the state have been trying to put an end to this situation. It is in line with this mandate that the Nigerian Army from the National Defense College are here to support the troops. According to the Brigadier General William, the visit is to strengthen the cooperation with the state government.
The expectation is that the government is doing a lot to ensure the unity of the state and by large national unity and national development. But however, you cannot get everything you need, but the little that they have, they are using it to ensure safety of the people, good people of Taraba State, and by large, the safety of Nigeria at large.
General William also said that the visit will help strengthen interagencies cooperations.
We are here to interrogate the effort of the state government in strengthening the unity of the state to enhance national security and national development. We had a courtesy visit on the deputy governor. Today we are meeting all the security agencies to hear their own perspective on how the state is able to strengthen the unity through the various perspective of the various security agencies that were here at the chambers this morning.
The general urges citizens to continue to give maximum support to security agencies.
The Ibadan Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned 11 students of the Obafemi Awolowo University before Justice Nathaniel Ayo Emmanuel of the Federal High Court, Oshogbo, Osun State, for their alleged involvement in internet fraud. The defendants were arraigned on different count charges ranging from 1 to 6 charges as preferred against them by the EFCC. 9 of the defendants were arraigned on 1 count charge each, while 2 had 6 count charges filed against them each. The head, media and publicity of the anti-graft agency, Dele Oyewole, in a statement said that upon the arraignment of the suspect, they all pleaded not guilty to the charges when they were read to them. The current energy crisis in Nigeria is causing a surge in the consumption of fuel wood in the country. Now, the hike in the price of cooking gas has further deepened concerns for households who have to use every resource available to make ends meet. Adam Umar reports.
Nigerians are facing living condition crisis, which is pushing many households to the brink. The declining purchasing power has been compounded by soaring inflation, which is causing persistent hikes in the price of goods and services. With the current hike in the price of cooking gas, most low-income households are now switching to affordable and accessible fuel sources like charcoal to remedy the critical situation.
As they sell charcoal before, charcoal dey cheap, they manage them. As gas cost, everybody go charcoal. As they think they sell now, they sell them, they manage and they go. When they hear where matter, so they come to increase the charcoal for us. and now gas cost, everything cost, everything cost. Charcoal now decrease, they don't increase the charcoal money for us. So they complain say fuel no dey. Now they don't increase charcoal money.
Before, gas was cheaper and we get it at a cheaper rate. We use it. We don't even bother to use charcoal. But now the gas is high, charcoal is high. No one is balanced. We are just managing.
Although the prices of charcoal has been impacted by inflation, it remains the most affordable energy source for consumers across the country. Medical and environmental experts are once again reiterating the dangers of an over-reliance on fuel wood for everyday household needs, highlighting its negative impact on health and environment.
People are advised to switch to energy that have zero or near zero carbon emission. Charcoal definitely does not pass for that. It goes for tree cutting, because you cannot make charcoal if you don't cut down trees. So it's really a very bad environmental impact effect that we get when we rely on charcoal as a source of our energy.
The skyrocketing price of gas will force Nigerians to go back to woods, to go back to the forest and start cutting more and more trees. And by doing so, first of all, it will bring impact socially, economically, and also it will affect our livelihood.
The current situation poses a serious threat to Nigeria's socio-economic development as poverty and unemployment continue to rise unmitigated.
The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC) have jointly declared a nationwide strike scheduled to commence on Tuesday, November 14, 2023. The leadership of both unions arrived at a resolution following an extraordinary National Executive Council meeting in Abuja, which took place on Tuesday. The nationwide mobilization of their members and supporters has been launched, according to the unions. The action by the organized labor followed the brutalization of NLC National President Joe Ajaero last week in Imo State. Ajaero's recent attack in Owerri, the capital of Imo State, has sparked widespread outrage, with organized labor accusing the Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Barde, of complicity. 15 commissioners of police, 29 deputy commissioners of police, and 40 assistant commissioners of police have been deployed to oversee Saturday's governorship election in Imo State. The spokesperson for the State Police Command, Henry Okoye, gave the update, who says that the police is ready for the Saturday poll. Okoye said that a Deputy Inspector General of Police will be in charge of the election and will be assisted by an Assistant Inspector General of Police. He said that the State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Barde, has been redeployed to the force headquarters by the Inspector General of Police. Now, the police spokesperson added that 36 units of mobile police personnel have been deployed to the state for the election. He explains that the visiting mobile police personnel will assist the mobile officers of the command in maintaining peace and order before, during, and after the election. Nigeria Customs Service Federal Operations Unit Zone A intercepted 13 trailer loads of foreign parboiled rice, 17 vehicles, and other items worth 1.2 billion naira in October. This was disclosed in a statement posted on the official X handle of the Nigeria Customs Service on Wednesday. The acting controller of the unit, Hussein Ejibunu, made this known in a press briefing on Tuesday at the unit's headquarters in Lagos. The acting controller also disclosed that 9 suspects were arrested during the anti-smuggling operations, as some of them were currently undergoing prosecution in different states of the zone. Ejibunu appealed to well-meaning and patriotic Nigerians to continue to support the unit with credible information that will assist in battling economic sabotage. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at the impact of Nigeria's current economic climate on Hadeja's fish market. Details and more after the break.
It may not look it, but Zamfara is quietly raging. It is the explosive focal point of northwest Nigeria. Across 14 local government areas, bandits have been unleashing mindless violence.
We need presidential intervention in Zamfara State. Our governor is doing his best. Our own part, we are doing our best. We need federal intervention. I repeat, we need federal intervention.
No area, no village, no ward, no district that is not affected. No hour, no minute, no second that you cannot see bandits moving around, attacking our people.
Over 200,000 people have been displaced, and over 6,000 deaths have been reported since May 2011.
Thanks for staying with us. This is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the top stories. Godwin Mbefele out on bail as legal battle continues. Troops arrest suspected killer of Ardo of Panyam in Plateau State. In other news, the House of Representatives Committee on Finance on Wednesday queried irregularities in the registration of subsidiary companies under the Nigerian Postal Service. The question was posed by Committee Chairman James Abiodun Faleke during an interactive meeting on the 2024-2026 medium-term expenditure framework. The Ministry of Finance, Incorporated, and other agencies appeared before the committee. Speaking during the session, Faleke noted that documents before the committee shows that 2 subsidiary companies under NIPOST were registered under individual names as stakeholders instead of the federal government, despite NIPOST being a federal government asset. Faleke also raised issues over the approval and withdrawals of 10 billion naira for the purpose of the registration of the subsidiary companies. Responding, the Chief Executive Officer of MOFI, Dr. Armstrong Takan, admitted that there were irregularities within the system, asking for the support of the committee to address them.
As it is by law, they are the owner of this company and they are the owner of all assets of NIPOST by law. Are you lawyers? That's what I understand. I also have another one which NIPOST Logistics or something like that, also registered in personal names. So I want to know from you, did you give permission to CAC to register your assets in personal name, Nigerian assets? Because what I can see here is that even some of them, they were working as civil servants when this was registered. Well, some of them, they were civil servants, and some have retired. But as it is by law, they are the owners of NIPOST Properties and NIPOST Transport Limited.
There is an opportunity for this committee to really partner with us to regularize a lot of the irregularities that exist and persist in our system. That is just one example. There are many other examples where such anomalies exist and have persisted for many years. The simple answer to your question, Honorable Chairman, is that the answer is no. When you register an entity, especially a federal government-owned entity, the shareholder must be MOFI. As dated as the MOFI Act is, the very fundamental basis for that act talked about easements and rights. And so anything that federal government owns or shares in, it should have been registered under MOFI.
Rising cost of living is threatening fish business in Hadejia town in Jigawa State. Over the years, Hadejia remains one of the largest fish market in northern Nigeria, but the current persistent inflation is forcing many people out of business in the ancient town. In this special report, Trust TV's Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that a 50 kg carton of fish is now sold at about 130,000 naira.
Inside Hadejia Seafood Market, truckloads of fish waiting to be transported to other states across the country. But traders say the cost at which these trucks are being transported is highly disturbing.
Honestly, in a day we used to load about 10 trailers of fish from this market. But now things are drawing back because of the high cost of living and the high cost of transportation. Because of the high inflation that we are in today, it's not everybody that can afford to buy enough fish. Most people, if you are buying like 10 bags, nowadays people are buying 5 or even 3 bags.
Relying on local sources within Jigawa and other villages around the Lake Chad, traders here say fish is also brought from Chad and Niger Republic. But the product is now getting scarce for obvious reasons.
Honestly, things are hard now. You can get a bag of fish at about 120, 130, in fact, up to 135,000 naira, which before is not like that. That is why many people are thinking of quitting the business.
High cost of transportation, increased taxation, inadequate capital, and lack of storage facility is gradually threatening fish business in northern Nigeria.
Our major problem is transportation. You see, this is Nigeria, and our people do go to Niger and Chad to buy fish. Now you can pay 1 million, 1.5 million to transport your goods, let's say from Kano to Lagos and other places across the country. That is why people are thinking otherwise.
It has been estimated that over 1 million people from across the country and neighboring West African nations do trade here, a large percentage of whom may likely be out of business if the rising inflation and general high cost of living persist.
The people trading here are not only from Hadejia. We have people from Kebbi State, from Borno State, from different parts of the country, and we also have our friends coming from Niger, from Chad Republic to bring in fish here. Therefore, if you can estimate the number of all these people that are trading here, they are over 1 million.
Unless new incentive is provided to address the high cost of transportation among other challenges, the price of fish is expected to continue to rise, and the future of this booming fish market may likely continue to remain bleak. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
And away from Nigeria, Somalis are struggling to cope with record-breaking flooding that has killed dozens of people and forced hundreds of thousands to abandon their homes in the wake of extreme rainfall that has engulfed much of the East Africa. Somalia's National Disaster Management Agency says at least 29 people have been killed and more than 300,000 have fled their homes for safety, calling the phenomenon the most severe in decades. The extreme rain presents a new challenge for the Horn of Africa, a country now which is still reeling from a record drought that crippled its agriculture and killed as many as 43,000 people last year. Now, Somali authorities are searching for thousands that may be stranded by flood water. At least 2,400 people have been cut off in Luke Town alone after the Juba River burst its banks, the United Nations has warned. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching.